your efforts to try to reach whatever you think is a fair conclusion. Your efforts to try to reach whatever you think is a fair conclusion. That's what I want to do. I promise I won't be long. I want to kind of give you a roadmap of what's going to happen here. So the court, I think you understand. Well, let me just say this. This case is really about whether or not Mr. Louisu performed in accordance with various rules that are in the contract about how to paint a Harding Elementary School. And the primary focus initially is on whether he performed that work in accordance with whether he performed that work with respect to potentially lead containing paint, existing paint that contains lead. Work, and that's change order with a directed change order. Here, that issue comes to play in the second issue that's related to change order of a directed change order. Here, change order of a directed change order. Change order of a directed change order. Here, that issue comes to play says, hey, contractor, do X work, and that's change order of a directed change order. Here, that issue comes to play in the second issue that's related to whether or not Mr. Luisi performed in accordance with the contract. And that's after the bid was awarded and during construction of the project, the district issued a supplemental directive involving collecting of water in the collecting of water when you're removing paint to get it ready for the existing paint ready for repainting. We contend that that was not in the original contract. The district contends otherwise. That's probably the major dispute in this case. DBA Color New. I also represent Merchants Bonding Company Mutual. And we talked a little bit about that. So what happens in that event of notice of termination is that the district then made a claim, well let me back up. In California on public projects, essentially unless they're very low dollars, the contractor has to made a claim on Mr. Luisi, who's also a party to the bond, and the surety. And what California law says in that event is the surety has to investigate the claim and decide whether or not they think that the district is correct and that the termination is valid, and or they reach another conclusion which says that they reviewed the claim, investigated it, and determined that the claim is not valid. In this case, the surety concluded that denied the claim, which meant they don't believe the claim is valid, meaning they essentially don't believe that Mr. Luisi violated the contract. So that's what the cross claim is about. So as the court said, so on the question of whether Mr. Luisi performed the contract correctly in the first place, that's where we're the plaintiff and we have the burden of showing that we're correct. And it switches around on the cross claim, where they're essentially, they're called the cross claimant. They are essentially standing in the role of plaintiff, and then they have the burden of showing who's right or wrong in that issue. Where they're essentially, they're called the cross claimant. They are essentially standing in the role of plaintiff, and then they have the burden of showing who's right or wrong in that issue. And I think for now, I think I'll just leave it at that. There's some more details, obviously, that will come into play here. But I think that gives you a good roadmap of where we're heading. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, counsel. And defense, you wish to give an opening?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you'll be addressing your position defending the complaint as well as, your position on the cross complaint?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you, go ahead.
Representative of the district, Lillian Law, who's over here in the first row on the left side. I'd like to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit briefly about what this case is all about. So why are we here? We're here because the evidence will demonstrate that Color Nude breached its contract with the district. Resulting in the uncontrolled release of lead-containing materials. As a result, the district assumes contractors like Color New, as stated in the contract, to assume that existing surfaces contain lead and treat it accordingly. Disturbance of lead-containing materials shall be performed using wet methods. And what are wet methods? Wet methods is a procedure that Color New was required to use, the contract that the evidence will demonstrate, in that you wet areas of existing paint before you scrape it off or to use, the contract that the evidence will demonstrate, in that you wet areas of existing paint before you scrape it off or you remove it. Allowing paint scraped off areas of existing coatings and paint, allowing paint chips and dust to be released into the air and the surrounding. Release even more material when you're remission. The evidence will demonstrate. Use pressure washing at a PSI of 4,000. When you remove the existing surfaces, using too high of a pressure causes the existing surfaces to come off in an uncontrolled manner. Something else you'll hear about are known as RRP rules. These are rules that are enacted by the EPA. Some of you might have heard of the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA. Now, the EPA CPA has all kinds of requirements for work that's done at schools, like Harding Elementary School. And those rules are included within Color News contract requirements. One of those rules had to do with plastic coating that's placed around the area where Color News was performing its work. So some of those rules include 10 feet minimum in all directions of the area where Color News is working. You'll hear evidence that Color News failed to comply with those requirements and those rules. 10 feet minimum in all directions of the area where Color 10 feet minimum. Some of those rules include 10 feet minimum in all directions of the area where Color News is working. You'll hear evidence that Color News failed to comply with those requirements and those rules while performing its work. Again, leading to safety problems and materials being generated that were not properly contained in those rules while performing its work. Those requirements and those rules while performing its work. Again, leading to safety problems and materials being generated that were not properly contained in the area that Color News was performing work. Hired a specialty consultant. So the district hired a specialty consultant called Integrity Environmental to monitor Color News work on the project. The evidence will demonstrate that when Color News was going to perform its work on the project,
Counsel, can I get the mic because with the
demonstrate that when Color News was going to perform its work on the project,
counsel,
was
can
tested. The materials came back showing the presence of unacceptable levels of lead in materials that were found at the locations where Color News specifically performed its work. Contractor known as Karcher Environmental to remediate manual in September 2019. Color News, you've already heard, the position is that it added new requirements to Color News contract. However, the evidence will demonstrate that the project manual simply, Color News, you've already heard, the position is that it added new requirements to Color News contract. However, the evidence will demonstrate that the project manual simply confirmed what the existing requirements were under the contract, and therefore did not add any new contract scope at all to Color News work. Manual in September 2019. Color News, you've already heard, the position is that it added new requirements to Color News contract. However, the evidence will demonstrate that the project manual simply confirmed what the existing requirements were under the contract, and therefore did not add any new contract scope at all to Color News work. The site. The district paid $33,523 to Karcher. That's the first damage claim component. The second damage claim the district is seeking is, number one, the district has had to hire the cleanup and remediate the site. The district paid $33,523 to Karcher. That's the first damage claim component. The second damage claim the district is seeking is the costs for black and white painting. So when the district hired black and white painting, the district had to pay $26,000 over and above the amount of color news contract to have black and white complete the project. The third component of the district's damage claim is what's known as liquidated damages. And the district is seeking $32,500 for liquidated damages. Now, liquidated damages are something that a contractor is required to pay the owner for each day of delay and each day that a specific that Color New breached its contract. The district's termination of Color New was proper. Color New is not entitled to recover any damages from the district. Instead, the district has been damaged, suffered damages, and those damages are recoverable from damages from the district. Damages from the district was proper. Color New is not entitled to recover any damages from the district. Instead, the district has been damaged, suffered damages, and those damages are recoverable from Color New and merchants jointly. I would ask that you please carefully consider all of the evidence in this case, and I thank you very much for your time.
Denise, go ahead and come forward, sir, before you take a seat.
I could use a little bit to set up here, Your Honor, but we'll be ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Denise, go ahead and come forward, sir, before you take a seat.
Set up here, Your Honor, but I could use a little bit to set up here, Your Honor, but we'll be ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Denise, go ahead and come forward, sir, before you take a seat, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand to be sworn in by my judicial assistant.
Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending
Your right hand to be sworn in by my judicial. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand to be. Before you take a seat, I'm going to ask you. Denise, go ahead and come forward, sir. Before you take a seat, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand to be sworn in by my judicial assistant.
do you solemnly state that please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Louis, Louisu, Louid, Loizu.
Your first and last name for the record.
Louis, Louisu, Loiid, Loizu.
Thank you. Sir, just a couple of things which I tell all witnesses. First, make sure that you're using words to respond and not gestures or other noises because they can't be picked up on the court report or by the court reporter. For one person to start talking before the other person is finished. It's harder to do that in court, again, because the court reporter can only take down one person at a time. So please let the lawyers finish asking their questions.
2003. And I started doing LA Unified jobs for myself in 2004.
Okay, so let's go back and, let me cover something that I probably will forget to go over if I don't cover it now. So you had
I got my contractor's license in 2003. And I started doing LA Unified jobs for myself in 2004.
Okay, so let's go back and, let me cover something that I probably will forget to go over if I don't cover it now. So you have your contractor's license. Well, let me ask another question. Your contractor's license is in in the name of Louis, Louisiana, correct? This is a public record with Contractor State License Board. And the project, the project here, this document states that covers a period from 2019 to 2024. And was your license in place during all this time period as a state? The project here, this document states that covers a period from 2019 to 2024. And was your license in place during all this time period as the state of California is confirmed?
Yes.
And I pass this speed in evidence.
Thank you. Hearing, no objection, Exhibit 60 is admitted, it's being published to the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, and persons of the jury, these will be, with you in deliberations, whatever's admitted in evidence. All right, thank you. Next question?
Yes, okay, so I'm sorry, you said the date, Bill, I forgot, 2002 approximately, you went to work for yourself as a
Right.
licensed
contract, the only difference is that Harding and Pinnacle over Superior, and it's like a
It would take Harding and
Pinnacle over Superior, it's, kinda like a contract, the only difference is that Harding and Pinnacle over Superior, and it's like a contract, the only difference is that Harding and Pinnacle over Superior, and it's like a Harding and Pinnacle over Superior, Harding and Pinnacle over Superior, Harding and Pinnacle over Superior. Contract, the only difference is that Harding contract, the only difference is that Harding and Pinnacle over Superior, and it's like a
it would take Harding and
Pinnacle over Superior, it's, kinda like a boilerplate type of, scope of work that they have. So all their jobs are practically the same.
Or,
We can, I've been
Okay.
it now, so, but you just need to, I mean, it's thousands of pages long, so.
or,
We can, I've been
Okay.
it now, so, but you just need to, I mean, it's thousands of pages long, so.
yeah, no, I get that. I get
Yeah.
I guess I'm missing, we can't show it to the jury, or,
We can, I've been
Okay.
it now, so, but you just need to, I mean, it's thousands of pages long, so.
yeah, no, I get that, I get
Yeah.
that.
So, counsel, just to be clear, if you're asking me to publish to the jury, just tell me, and then we can. Do you have it up?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So a document is being published to the jury. Counsel, go ahead.
Okay, so we just put up on the screen a document which is, bidding document for the Los Angeles Unified School District, and it goes on to say, describe that it's for the Harding Street Elementary School. Okay.
Correct.
Prior to seeing this document, how did you hear about and it goes on to say, describe that it's for the Harding Street Elementary School. Okay.
Correct.
Prior to seeing this document, how did you hear about this particular project?
They advertise it.
And in response to that advertisement, what
This bid package. $9,900. I'm not sure what you're asking.
well, you're answering the question I asked, but I'm trying to figure out.
This bid package.
And is your understanding that this is the RRP requirements?
I don't remember exactly, so.
Okay. And is your understanding that this is the RRP requirements? This section that it continues on, obviously, but is the RRP requirements for this project?
It's that are in here.
Okay, next question?
Sure. Actually, let's go to 1090.
Thank you. And the witness can tell us when is it page 1090?
1090, yes, Your Honor.
I see.
Okay. And this page, what is your understanding of what's going on on page 1090 and I guess the subsequent pages? Do you know anything about the amounts bid by other bidders on the project?
Besides the amount of their bids.
And council, 3 minutes before we take a break, just so. Admonition, the same one as yesterday, don't talk about this case with each other or anyone else, don't Google, it's the same one as yesterday. Please be back promptly in the lobby and ready to be brought back in at 11:15. You have 15 minutes, stretch your legs, use the restroom if you need to. Thank you very much. We'll see you at 11:15. Hold on, Mr. Lee. You can go back and sit down on yourself. since we have to, I asked you all to get up when they come in anyway. Thank you, Angela. Mr. Loizu, you can, come and sit here at the witness stand, sir. And you can just stay standing. Yeah, thank you. You can, come and sit here at the witness stand, sir. And you can just stay standing. Yeah, thank you. All right, members of the jury, welcome back. Thank you. We will go ahead and get started. Mr. Loizu, have a seat, sir.
you have, can you see that, is there a screen with it on?
Yes.
Can some of you see?
It is, the witness is looking at it on the screen at the witness stand. Go ahead.
Okay, so you don't need to look at finders anymore. Okay, alright, got it. Alright, so obviously you're only looking at the first page. Look at finders anymore. Okay, so you don't need to look at finders anymore. Okay, alright, got it. Alright, so obviously you're only looking at the first page, and we'll ask you about it, on the page. Got it. Alright, so obviously you're only looking at the first page, and we'll ask you about it, in more detail, but, I guess in general, do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
Okay, what, like I said, we'll look through some pages so you can answer some questions about it. But what is your understanding of the purpose of this document?
Our lead work plan.
And did you submit that work plan to the district?
Yes.
And was it approved by the district?
Yes.
So, hang on a second. Okay.
Yeah, so let me pause you, folks, you may still have to use these because it's very small on the screen, so hold on. We're talking about exhibit 88.
88, right, right. Yeah, it's easier to use the hard copy, that's fine.
It's in that box.
So, page 3, and then Gerald's got us on. The bid requirements for that, what they say in regard to dealing with existing lead-based paint surfaces. put up, which is, exhibit 3, which has been stipulated to your honor.
Exhibit 3, so stipulated districts.
Yes, Your Honor.
Exhibit 3 will be admitted by stipulation.
Okay, and
It's
just,
being put on the full screen.
and just the reason I put this up here, it's, we looked at it very briefly, because it is part of 80 as well, but, when you see this document, which is, exhibit 3, which has been stipulated to your honor.
Exhibit 3, so stipulated districts.
Because it is part of 80 as well, but because it is part of, and just the reason I put this up here, it's we looked at it very briefly because it is part of 80 as well, but when you see this document, this is the document that you base complying with the terms of this section 9090903 or what you use to create your compliance plan we just looked at.
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Did you use this document to compare the compliance plan?
I don't think so. We know the
That you base complying with the terms of this section 9090903 or what you use to create your compliance plan we just looked at.
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Did you use this document to compare the compliance plan?
to exactly what they have there. We have like a boilerplate plan that we use in-house that we provide to all the districts.
Okay, so was what you're saying that the compliance plan that we just looked at is the general compliance plan you provide to on all your projects?
Mostly, yeah, it's a boilerplate and we just change the names to, mostly, yeah, it's a boilerplate and we just change the names to, the school that we're working on.
And the plan that you submitted was approved by the district, correct?
Correct.
All right, let's go to the work you did on the project itself. And when did you start work on the project?
July 22nd.
Any activity on the project site prior to July 22nd?
No.
And kind of precisely in that. Okay, and what did you do kind of precisely in that situation? Okay, and then what other work was done? He asked you to?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what other work was done on that day?
We painted some door closers that they have. And, that's about it, and, lead stabilization, that's it.
Okay, what do you mean by what? First of all, door closers are like things that make a door shut automatically?
Correct.
And those are, I imagine, they're interior, correct?
Yeah, they're on the inside of the classrooms or the school.
And then
Painted some door closers that they have. Not doing that.
okay, so on day one, we take away the door closers, you did some washing on one wall, and you, in the walkway, and you did some, I guess, dry scraping,
That's right.
wet scraping, okay, so, I guess I'm not 100% sure what wet scraping means, is that also called the wet method, is that?
Right, you just miss some water.
I guess dry scraping,
That's right.
wet scraping, okay, so, I guess I'm not 100% sure what wet scraping means, is that also called the wet method, is that?
Right, you just miss some water on the surface.
Okay, I mean, say you miss some water, like you using a Hudson Frayer or something? Okay, so you're just wetting it down? Okay. Is the first step basically in this whole process to put this plastic sheeting down?
The first step is to finish all the lead work, and then you go ahead and start doing your preparation to paint. And then doing your preparation to paint. The first step is to finish all the lead work, and then you go ahead and start doing your preparation to paint, and then washing, masking, and stuff like that.
So is this, the scraping you're talking about, is that considered, do you consider that to be lead work?
Yeah.
Okay, so is the wetting down the walls, do you consider that part of lead work as well, or no? I guess dry scraping,
That's scraping.
wet scraping, okay, so
That's scraping.
wet scraping, okay,
That's scraping.
wet scraping, okay, so
That's scraping.
wet scraping, okay, so wetting down the walls, do you consider that part of lead work as well, or no?
If it's during the process of the lead work, yeah, but if it's after, then
Okay. Like kind of a misting these things, right?
right.
And does it make that wall kind of wetter as just, what's the purpose of that?
Just to hold the dust in.
And that's all, it's not to help take the paint off or anything? And when you're taking,
Just to hold the dust in.
and that's all, it's not to help take the paint off or anything? And when you're doing the scraping, what are you trying to accomplish? Not trying to basically take the paint off the whole thing, you're just trying to take off what, things that flake off or something?
During the scraping, or?
Yes.
Yeah, just things that are apparently loose.
Okay. Alright, and, let's go to day 2, and what type of work did you do on day 2?
We did, mill washing, we did the scraping, the lead work, and, the door closers.
Okay, and, do you recall, who was there for, well, let me just ask you this. Did anyone from LAUSD, raise any issues with the work you're performing on day 2? Performing on day 2?
I got a phone call around 11, 12 o'clock from Jerry Castillo, the collection manager.
Hearsay objection,
Well, first of all, I think it's notice of why he acted what he did, so I think
so
it's
state
not,
of mind,
yes.
overruled, you can answer.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, I
Oh.
asked,
Hold on a second, I'll repeat it. 1 second, please. USD raise any issues with the work you performed on day 2? Answer, I got a no call around 11:12 from a Jerry Castillo.
Well, let me just ask you this. Did anyone from LAUSD raise any issues with the work you're performing on day 2?
I got a phone call around
I'm just, if you all stick to it, I'm assuming you're asking that it be admitted, counsel?
Yes.
Hearing no objection, exhibit 14. I'm just, if you all stick to it, I'm assuming you're asking that it be admitted, counsel?
Yes, Ron, I should have said that, but yes, that was my intent.
Okay, exhibit 14 is admitted by stipulation. It's being published to the jury and the witness. And it's on the screen in front of you. Go ahead with your question.
In terms of, well, let me ask you this, I apologize if I did ask you before, was Mr. Castillo actually at the project site?
Not that day.
So he was relying on statements by others as to what you were doing?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustain.
Did Mr. Castillo tell you that someone told him about what you were doing?
Hold on a second,
I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry, yes.
Thank you. By stipulation, hearing, no objection from the district, exhibit 15 is admitted, it's being published in the jury, and the witness.
first I just wanna understand how the kind of the chain of events works here. So the top email looks like it's from you, correct?
Yeah, yes.
But that's the morning of the second day, right? Here to, I think all are from this person called Masood Radari. Had you ever heard of Mr. Radari before receiving this email? Alright, thank you. That's the final question for before lunch, Your Honor.
Thank you, and, okay, so we'll continue with your direct after lunch, counsel?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so, Mr. Loizo, I'll just ask you to, stay there. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, you will now be recessed for lunch. I'm giving you the same separation admonition to not talk to each other or anyone else about. I'll just ask you to, stay there. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, you will now be recessed for lunch. I'm giving you the same separation admonition to not talk to each other or anyone else about this trial, and, don't Google research it, please. You'll have an hour and a half, which is a lot of time. There's a lot of places you can walk to. I don't know what the weather's like outside today. I think it's better than yesterday. My request to you is, however, please be back in the lobby at 1:30 promptly so we can bring you in and keep moving it along. I appreciate your time and attention. Have a nice lunch. You are excused for lunch. We'll see you at 1:30.